Steeler Nation, the Steelers suffered their first loss of the season at the hands of the Indianapolis Colts on the road. Steelers are now 3-1, and this was tough.
This is a heartbreaking loss. This was a game that was the most roller coaster of emotions ride that I could ever remember because we were out of it for the entire first half, really. And then we came back, and we were out of it again. Then we came back, we were out of it again. The defense finally made a play, and when we had a chance to at least tie the game, center mistakes happened once again.
Snapping mistakes happen once again.
It's just such a emotional roller coaster and a complete up and down wave all game.
From all sides of the ball.
It was one of those games where it's just heart crushing in the end because this team, this offense, specifically Justin Fields, fought like a motherfucker. Fields put this team on his back. Fields was the team today. If you were to rename the Steelers for one day only, it would be today, and the name would be Justin Fields. Justin Fields was the Pittsburgh Steelers today. Justin Fields carried this team. Justin Fields is the reason they scored 21 points in the second half. Justin Fields had 3 touchdowns, 2 rushing, 1 through the air to Freiermuth, and all because of an early snap from rookie Zach Frazier that really killed that drive.
And the drive was going down very well. It was a very productive drive.
It killed all momentum, man. Before that, they had 3 straight touchdown drives. When was the last time that ever happened? Unbelievable, man.
It's heart crushing. I know it's only our first loss of the season, but it's a difficult loss to handle.
It is.
With how it went down, because the first half,
dude, the first half was one of the worst first halves I've seen from the Steelers. Not one positive out of that first half. It was all bad. It was all bad, dude.
No, the Colts had 17 points. The Steelers only had 3. The defense couldn't stop anybody. Not even Anthony Richardson when he was in initially for, I think, the first 3 offensive drives they had before he went out with a hip injury. And good old rival Joe Flacco had to step in, and he pretty much scorched our secondary.
He diced us up. 39-year-old Joe Flacco, who 1 year ago today was on the couch watching NFL Sunday eating Cheetos, he diced up the Steelers secondary. Unbelievable.
Yeah, Michael Pittman, he had himself a hell of a game, over 100 yards. Josh Downs, over 80 yards and a touchdown he got.
Drew Ogletree had the touchdown that essentially put the dagger in us.
Jonathan Taylor, he had 88 yards on the ground with 1 rushing touchdown. He pretty much ran right through us until he went out with an ankle injury.
It's like what happened to our defense. What happened to what I was saying going into this game was the number 1 defense in the league. Little pressure. We finally got to Flacco towards the end, but TJ Watt was non-existent all game. The secondary was poor.
Nobody from the secondary.
Poor.
Nobody from the secondary did anything. Now, no. JPJ was just getting torched.
Dude, this is the worst. This is the worst game I've seen JPJ play. He was allowing completions. He was allowing yardage. He was allowing first downs. He dropped a pick or 2 that he could have had. In fact, the missed turnovers from the defense early really hurt them in the end, man, because it was the first couple drives where there was a fumble on Anthony Richardson and the Steelers failed to recover. And then there was a shot in the end zone that was almost picked off by JPJ. He dropped it, channeling in his inner 24. Those are missed opportunities. Those are missed turnovers that would have taken points off the board for the Colts.
Crucial missed opportunities.
Those could have changed the momentum in the first half, and they didn't. The defense had chances to make plays, and they didn't.
Yeah, especially the third down defense, most of all, was the worst. Third down defense, they couldn't make tackles. They kept leaving receivers wide open, whether it was middle of the field, whether it was one-on-one.
Or on the sideline.
They just couldn't stop anything on third down.
They couldn't do anything. In fact, in the first 18 minutes of the game, this is all that happened with the Steelers, bro. This is kind of a bit of how bad that first half was. In the first 18 minutes of the game, the Steelers missed out on 3 points initially, which was clearly the difference maker here. They missed out on 3 points because of a personal foul penalty on Broderick Jones. They were in field goal range. That penalty took them out of field goal range. They were forced to punt. Looking back at it, yeah, that was kind of the difference maker. A simple mental mistake like that. They had 2 potential turnovers, like we mentioned, that they didn't have. That they didn't capitalize on. Tomlin requested a challenge and he failed it, which was a first down to Josh Downs, and it was a clear first down, but he challenged it anyway. And they had a 4th-and-1 attempt on offense, which they ran a quarterback draw with Fields 5 yards away from the first down mark when they easily could have just went under center and done a sneak like a normal person. But
yeah, under center, you got Zach Frazier, who's a people mover at center. No, you decided to go for a draw.
Yeah, let's go 15 feet away from the first down instead of 3 inches. That was all in the first 18 minutes. Plus, in the first half, we had injuries to Nick Herbig, James Daniels, and Cordero Patterson. Like, everything was going bad. Everything. We allowed 17 first half points. The Steelers allowed 10 max all season so far.
Yeah.
They allowed 17 alone in the first half. It was all bad. It was all bad, and what really crushed it towards the end was the Steelers, man. They had their best offensive drive of the game at that point, their best drive of the first half.
Yeah, they were down at the 4-yard line.
Dude, they were getting big gains from Cordero Patterson, from Darnell Washington, who showed his yak ability
And his
athleticism.
hurdling ability.
Yeah, dude.
Mount Washington, man, he can get high.
Like, that was an incredible drive led by specifically Cordero Patterson, who didn't play the rest of the game after that, and Darnell Washington. And it eventually ended in a fumble by George Pickens because he didn't want to cradle the football.
No. He didn't protect the ball well, and Nick Cross was able to basically force the fumble out of Pickens' hands, and the Colts recovered.
We were 5 yards away from a touchdown in the first half, and he fumbled it. That was a crusher. That actually drained everybody in the first half. Now, in the second half, everyone says the Steelers are a second-half team and all that. The offense showed they are. The defense, they improved to some degree, but clearly wasn't enough to slow down the Colts offense, to slow down Joe Flacco.
No, they still allowed an additional touchdown and a field goal. They still allowed wide receivers to be open. There was just one third down that Dante Jackson could have made the tackle and prevented, which I believe on that drive ended in a field goal for Matt Gay. Dante Jackson missed his tackle on Josh Downs, which resulted in a first down.
Yeah.
If Jackson makes that tackle, they don't get that field goal.
No, they don't.
That's a crucial stop by Jackson, and he failed to do that.
Yeah. Now, also in the second half, it was kind of crushing. I think it was in the second half. It was early into the second half. The offense, they had a chance to, get some points on the board and bring us back and all that.
And it was good field position, too, because Calvin Austin was able to return the ball on a punt return very well. He made another big play. Calvin Austin made a handful of plays here and there in this game, which I would love to see more of Calvin Austin. Last week he did very good. He made some plays here and there in the receiving game, just a bit, and in the return game. It goes to show that Calvin Austin is capable of making some plays.
Yes.
I would like to see a little bit more of Calvin Austin moving forward on offense.
Right now he's the wide receiver too. But Calvin Austin had a great punt return that put the Steelers in field goal range. They ended up not gaining a single yard, and it eventually ended in a fumble by Justin Fields as he tried to scramble away from a nickel blitz.
That he did not read, by the way.
He didn't. Yeah, I mean, that's the one mistake. That's the one error I would give Justin Fields today. Not many, because for the majority of this game, he had awful play calling by Arthur Smith. Very conservative. He had no O-line. We had two young backup guards filling in for Sayamalu and James Daniels. We still have Broderick Jones at right tackle, who didn't have his best game today. It was not a good game by the offensive line. Najee Harris couldn't get a damn thing going. I love Najee, but today he didn't do anything. Outside of that big screen catch where he had to catch and run, he didn't do anything today. Najee Harris was non-existent on the ground. The run game was non-existent outside of Patterson. That was it. Like, Fields had nobody. Today. It was all him. But on that specific play, I will give him criticism. He should have read the nickel blitz. He should have called an audible. He had Najee in the backfield in shotgun. He should have said, hey, Najee, you're going to play pass pro here on was it, second down. He didn't read the nickel blitz. I think it was Chris Lamons who came on the edge. Blitz Fields, he started to scramble and turn back around. He slipped and fumbled. I will say this. Russ probably would have called that out because he's smarter between the ears. However, shout out to Anton with it too.
We've got 2 words for you.
He says time to go get DeAndre Hopkins or Devontae Adams. More so Adams.
Yeah, the Steelers in general, they need a legitimate number 2.
They do. Roman Wilson hasn't played yet. He's been inactive all year. Calvin Austin's our number 2 right now, but he's not a solid or consistent number 2.
And I want to see more playing time from Calvin Austin, and I want to see what Roman Wilson is capable of.
Right.
But as of right now, we need an impact number 2 because the only target is, of course, George Pickens.
And Pickens had over 100 yards at the end of the game, and Fields just doesn't have anyone else outside of that.
No.
Like, he was the only one in the receiving game that did anything. You look at the receiving numbers. You look at the receiving stats. Pickens had 7 catches for over 110 yards. Outside of that, Muth had 57 and a touchdown. Probably his best game so far. Everyone else, nothing crazy.
No.
We need another target. Whether that's Roman Wilson or they make a trade for somebody, time will tell. But regardless, with what Fields had to work with the mistake that he made on that fumble, he rebounded and he led. After that, he led 3 straight touchdown drives. After that mistake, he led the Steelers to 21 unanswered in the second half.
He rebounded big time. And it was nothing but Fields on those drives.
After an awful first half, which was conservative, and they couldn't get anything going, and when they could, it eventually led to a heartbreaking turnover. Fields, after everything, led the Steelers back and kept them in it. Even after all the touchdowns that he scored, the defense was still allowing plays. The defense was still allowing first downs. The Steelers were still allowing points.
So if the
Colts.
Steelers did their job at least one time in that second half, on any of the times that Fields scored, if they did their job at least one time, Steelers right now would probably be 4-0.
And listen, there's many things that clearly went into effect in the Colts.
Many
winning.
things. It's not the fact that the defense was horrible for the most part in this game. It's not because of Zach Frazier's bad snap.
It was just way too many mistakes
From the offense, the penalties, the conservative play calling, the missed opportunities on the defense with the turnovers.
The fact we couldn't get a ground game going.
The second and Najee's constantly second and long, and it's a run to Najee Harris.
And obviously, like, the defense not really living up to their contract or living up to the highest paid title in the league, or the defense just not playing good football today.
Yeah, against a
Joe
39-year-old backup quarterback in Joe Flacco. It was just an all-around collective failure by the team.
Dude, just look at this, man. I'm gonna read you guys the drives. So after that fumble by Fields led us to a touchdown. The Colts responded with a touchdown. Justin Fields responded with another touchdown. The Colts responded with a field goal. Then the Steelers responded with another touchdown. Then the Steelers defense finally got pressure and got a sack on Joe Flacco. And then ultimately what happened ended the game for the Steelers. But the point I'm trying to make is, despite everything, Justin Fields kept the Steelers in it. Despite everything from the first half to the defense still allowing things in the second half, Justin Fields was the team today. And
It goes to show that Justin Fields has fight. He has heart. He's a competitor. He has resiliency in him. He's got ice in his veins. And it goes to show how much he wants to remain the starter. It goes to show his playing ability and how he could take a team that's making mistake after mistake and still leading them to only lose by 3 points when honestly the Steelers probably could have lost by more. Should have lost by more. But Fields able to lead the team, carry the team on his back and do what he needed to do. That goes to show that Justin Fields is truly, without a shadow of a doubt, Steelers quarterback number 1.
I'm sold on Fields, man. I really am. He's done very little mistakes ever since being the starter, and the Steelers had 3 touchdowns coming into this game all season. He led 3 in the second half.
Even in loss, Justin Fields looked great. He looked good. Made a mistake, yes, but he rebounded big time with drives that you want to see resulting in touchdowns, and he did that 3 straight times.
Right.
It's great.
Beer Malls with a $9.99. He says Fields gets his flowers from beer malls. I agree.
So even in loss, Fields still looked good, and he's still the quarterback 1.
And Fields convinced me like he should remain the starter. He already convinced me last week, but especially this week, that this is the guy that can lead us to remaining competitive and remaining in football games. I remember offenses the past several years where they were not built for comebacks. They were not built to be brought back from large deficits.
No.
I'll tell you right now.
Remember the Colts game last year?
I'll tell you right now, man, if we had any of the offense, if we had whatever we had the past couple years in this game, the Steelers don't come back. They're not in the fight as much as they were. With Fields and what he brought, they were in it. It just sucks that they had a slow start again. Dude, from the get-go, from the second Anthony Richardson had the ball, it was a slow start. It was a bad performance by the defense. And it remained consistent. And then the offense didn't respond well. They were conservative. It was a very conservative first half. And none of it really led up until Fields said, you know what, enough of this shit.
Yeah.
I'm trying to win us this game.
I got to throw it out there. The conservative starts have got to stop. They have to stop. It's annoying. It's stale. It's frustrating. The fact that the Steelers had to be a second-half team and bounce back and make a comeback. That's fine and dandy. It's great to see. Fine, sure. It shows that they're capable. But why can't they be capable of starting off hot?
I agree.
Why must they be conservative? It's frustrating.
I don't think they have the scheme to do it.
But that's the problem. That's the problem. They have to work on it. They have to get better at that. So you have a problem. You can't just be settled with it. You can't be fine and dandy with it.
I agree.
Just because of, hey, we did something in the second half. No. The first half is just as important. You got to make a great first impression. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. But, I mean, there was a ton of mistakes from all aspects of the team today on offense and defense. We got to clean this up. I'm hoping that some of our errors are somewhat injury-related. Warren didn't play this game. Patterson left the game. He got hurt. Hopefully, he's good to go. James Daniels got hurt. Hopefully, he'll be good to go. Maybe we get Sayamalu back.
That'd be great. That'd be, especially with the way the offensive line played, getting Sayamalu back would be crucial.
Yeah. That would really help the offensive line and hopefully give us something sustainable from the offense within the first half as we go forward into the season. As now the Steelers look towards the Cowboys on Sunday night next week. The Cowboys are kind of in a similar situation with the Steelers.
A little bit.
At least if you look at their recent games. They're just not as good. They're not as legit as you might think they are.
Me personally, I don't find Dallas threatening. I don't really find them that convincing, But
I'll tell you what, man. If the Steelers secondary allows what they did today to CeeDee Lamb, it's over.
It's absolutely over.
It's over. It's over. That actually terrifies me.
But what they got to do, they have to do, get back in the film room, learn from your mistakes, clean up the miscues, clean up the mistakes.
And Mike Tomlin needs to be as blunt as possible in the meetings, in the film room, and whatever. He needs to say, this is enough. We can't have this.
No.
This is horse shit. We can't be having this.
You got to get ready for next Sunday.
These mistakes need to be cleaned up for next week. The O-line needs to be improved. Hopefully they're a little healthier. Broderick needs to start playing better. Our guards need to play better. Our center, Zach Frazier, is still a dog. He just needs to fix on the snap issues, the snap timing. The play calling seriously needs to be a lot more substantially better.
Yeah. Everything and everybody has to bounce back.
In fact,
just
you know
live and
what?
learn, man. Just live and learn.
I hate losing the way we lost today because it's so bone-crushing. But perhaps this might be what the Steelers need, man. You notice, like, every time the Steelers start off pretty hot and they start off undefeated, they think they don't have many issues. They think everything's fine and dandy. They think they handle business and they don't have to worry about a damn thing.
Exactly.
Maybe this is the game where it kind of humbles them.
If anything.
You know what? We got some problems. We're not satisfied.
If anything.
I'm hoping, man. I really am. Let us know your guys' thoughts down below. The Steelers lose to the Colts in heartbreaking fashion, but one thing is for sure. Justin Fields is quarterback one until he is not. Not Russell Wilson. Whenever he's healthy, whatever, he's not the guy. We don't run with him. We continue to run with Fields.
Yeah.
He's the guy. He's the reason why we had 24 points today. He's the reason why we were as close to a victory as we were today. Shout out to Justin Fields, man. Let us know your guys' thoughts down below. Here we go, Steelers at the end of the day, and let's hope we bounce back next week versus the Dallas Cowboys. See you in the next one.
And as always, like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you later. Peace!